5 escapees are back behind bars tonight, but a 6th man is still on the loose in Navajo County. Authorities are still searching for Brandon Sanchez here. He's one of 6 inmates who escaped last night from the White Mountain Apache Police Department. No word how they got away or how the 5 men were recaptured today, but if you see Sanchez, you're asked to call police.
Our top story tonight, a man now charged with murder for gunning down the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, Brian Thompson, last week in New York City.
Luigi Mangione arriving at a courthouse shortly after being caught at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania today. He was found after a tip from a worker at that McDonald's. He's facing 5 charges now in Pennsylvania, including forgery and carrying firearms without a license. He's being held without bail while authorities wait to send him back to New York, where he is now charged with murder.
Police saying that they found a handwritten note outlining his grievances with the healthcare industry.
In America, we do not kill people in cold blood to resolve policy differences or express a viewpoint.
And now we're learning more about a smart young man with a privileged upbringing who's now charged with murdering the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Mangione was valedictorian of his high school and graduated from Penn, an Ivy League university.
Although he has no immediate ties to Arizona, one of his former high school classmates lives right here in the Valley. Fox 10's Lindsay Regis spoke with him tonight, and she's here with more. Lindsay.
John and Ellen, Corey Way has been following this story very closely. He says the picture of the masked suspect looks somewhat familiar. When additional photos were released today, he was shocked to find out it was his classmate from high school.
I would say I spoke to him pretty frequently.
Corey Way of Scottsdale went to the same high school as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione, the suspect in the murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare.
He was like a leader in our class, so I'm not quite sure the exact clubs because it's a while back, but he was like a leader of clubs. He was in many clubs. He was also like a soccer player as well.
Way says they graduated from Gilman School, class of 2016, a private all-boys school in Baltimore. He describes it as a small high school with about 85 to 100 students in each grade.
He spoke at our graduation. Every year they have like somebody who's, exceeds academically and in and out of the classroom, and they have them speak in front of our high school. And it's weird saying it, but yeah, he was that person that we chose to speak. So
nothing unusual stood out to Way years ago.
Everyone just knew him as like a quiet, reserved, nice kid, and he was obviously really intelligent, and everybody can tell that by his resume, of course.
As the manhunt began for the killer seen on surveillance video shooting Thompson and then fleeing, Way became interested in the high-profile case but didn't make the connection.
I had no hindrance that it was him. I mean, in the back of my mind, I was like, I feel like that face is familiar, but it was like subconsciously, not really like on the forefront.
It wasn't until he saw the mugshot and video of Mangione being taken into custody that he knew it was Luigi Mangione, his former classmate, someone he's lost touch with over the years.
My initial reactions were just shock, surprise, and I just would never expect someone who went to our school to, be involved in this. So it was just shock, really. I'm still shocked.
Way says he briefly kept in contact with him after graduation, but says he hasn't spoken to him in about 4 years. Reporting in studio, Lindsay Regis, Fox 10 News.
Wow, that is so interesting, Lindsay. First at 4, video just released of 6 men attacking former NHL player Paul Bissonnette outside of a Houston's restaurant in Scottsdale.
Yeah, you can see some of them holding him down and others are hitting him, kicking him. Eventually, he is able to get away and he runs off.
Thanks for joining us at 4. Some of those men involved are facing serious charges in the attack that happened outside that Houston's in Scottsdale.
And some in that group are suspected of beating a young man at a country club in Phoenix only an hour before, back on November 24th. Fox 10's Ellen McNamara joins us in studio now with the new video. Ellen.
And guys, right when that attack happened, we formally asked Scottsdale police for that video. There was a lot to go through, both inside and outside the restaurant. Now, before we get outside the restaurant, you just saw a small portion of that video. It's pretty clear. We're going to start inside the restaurant, and that is where it all began. A group of guys towards the back of the bar are all standing, and according to former NHL player Paul Bissonnette, the 6 drunk men were harassing the restaurant staff, so he walks over to talk with the group. You can see the tall figure walk towards them, then all hell breaks out, shoving and punching. The group starts moving towards the front of the restaurant, and from looking at the video, the place is packed. Another camera angle inside the restaurant is from the front door. You'll see the fight in the top left of your screen. Then a man with a baby carrier runs out with his baby, and a woman with a diaper bag isn't far behind to protect the child. There's a skip in the video, but you'll see who police have identified as Bissonnette backing up with his hand up in a defensive position towards a guy who Scottsdale police have identified as Danny Bradley, the man in the green shirt. He was first facing a misdemeanor charge for this attack, but that case has been dropped, and the Maricopa County Attorney's Office is now reviewing his case and a few other ones to see if a felony is more appropriate. He's also accused of attacking another young man in Phoenix. Finally, the video outside the restaurant and the city camera set up at Scottsdale Road and McDonald is clear. A few men are wailing on him, while a few are holding him down. They look like a pack of wild animals attacking him. Bissonnette runs off, and the men start to scatter. Bissonnette spoke about the attack on his podcast only a couple of days after getting jumped.
I ate 3 kicks, 1 in the neck, 2 in the head, was able to get up, and now at this point I have no shoes on. I got my pants, no shirt, and I finally am able to run in the CVS, and then they didn't come in the CVS, and thankfully the cops were called right away.
What's fascinating, too, is that whoever was operating and watching from that city camera that was at Scottsdale and McDonald, they kept following the guys involved. So once police were called, they knew exactly where those guys were. They knew that some of them even had crossed Scottsdale Road and gone to a hotel. One guy stuck around, and he was quickly detained by police. We're going to put all this video up on our website at fox10phoenix.com if you want to look at those different angles, along with some of the past stories about the attack that we've already done. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, I think we were hoping we'd see Bissonnette land some punches on these guys. Actually, it looks like he was in a defensive posture for much of this.
6-on-1, that's tough.
Yeah.
6-on-1. He definitely got some on inside the restaurant, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can see though that they were the aggressors, and police even mentioned in the police report that the guy in the green shirt was the main aggressor. So I mean, he was just defending himself.
Yeah.
According to police, and obviously the police report states that too.
Okay.
Wow.
Ellen, interesting. Thank you.
A man is facing multiple felony charges after he allegedly posed as an Uber driver.
And then stole hundreds of thousands of dollars in cryptocurrency from customers by accessing their phones. Fox 10's Nicole Christine joins us live with details. This is a sophisticated crime, but in a way simple. It's amazing how quickly this guy was able to get that information off riders' phones.
Yeah, it sure was. John and Christina, this is the scene where this was happening, outside of the W in Scottsdale, and they say that Nuro Hussein picked up 2 victims, one in March, one in October. They say he posed as an Uber driver, and then his secret motive, one that was sophisticated yet simple, as you said, John, was to steal over $200,000 combined in cryptocurrency. Prosecutors say the alleged scheme started in both cases with Nuro Hussein calling out the names of his supposed Uber passengers. Once in the vehicle, court documents allege he had 2 different ways of getting the victims' phones, either by saying his was dead or by offering to help troubleshoot the Uber app when it said one victim's driver had not arrived. Once the phone was in his hands, court documents say he was able to transfer a combined $223,000 in cryptocurrency, either by phone-to-phone transfer or phone-to-cold storage. The victim from March told police when they asked for their phone back, Hussein gave a concerning response.
He made threats to at least one of the victims that they needed to chill or something bad would happen, and the victim believed that he was armed with a gun, although he did not see a weapon at that time.
Due to the alleged threats and the level of skill shown in the fraud, prosecutors pushed for a cash-only bond of $200,000.
If Mr. Hussein is able to post bond, we'd ask for electronic monitoring, and I'd also ask for no use of the internet. Given that this was an extremely sophisticated electronic fraud, we do not want Mr. Hussein to potentially destroy further evidence if it exists.
The state also argued that Hussein is a flight risk due to frequent trips to Ethiopia.
You are not to leave Maricopa County. That's part of my orders today. I understand the state is saying that you do go back and forth. You have to stay here.
Now, the judge did place Hussein under a $200,000 secured bond, so he has the opportunity to go through a bond company if possible or pay himself. And also, he will be under electronic monitoring if he does bond out. His next court appearance is scheduled for later this month. Reporting live tonight in Scottsdale, Nicole Christine, Fox 10 News.
Fox 10 News alert: a Phoenix woman accused of killing her 3 children pleading guilty. Rachel Henry was arrested in January of 2020 after her 3 kids were found dead inside her home near 24th Street and Baseline. She later admitted to smothering them one by one, laying each child on the couch to make it look like they were sleeping. Henry pleaded guilty to premeditated first-degree murder for each child. That was each charge. Sentencing set for February of next year.